welcome everybody to the Edu20 podcast After Hours.
Oh, the spicy kind.
It is, and I am Shannon, joined with
Courtney.
and we're going to talk about all things life. Yeah, not
Life.
always education. Like, you check out our regular episodes for our Edu20 podcast.
To enrich your brain, check out the regular episodes. To
Yeah.
enrich your spirit, check out these episodes. I don't know.
All right. So, the last one that we recorded, we talked a lot about me.
It was a lot, but we
right,
found out a lot about your arranged marriages.
Right.
I like you had multiple
marriages,
ones.
not multiple, just one.
Escaping a cold.
Right. It was a wild
You
time.
sound so interesting compared to me. I'm just saying.
No, that's not true because I have some things to ask you today.
I'm kind of nervous.
You just do everything.
I do a lot of
You
things.
are a
It's
CEO. You're
ADHD. It's my
co-owner of a company. You are an educator. You just do so many things, and you're also a mom of 3.
Yes.
And a lot of people come up and they will even ask me questions about you, but I know you get asked about it a lot. You mention every now and then that you are mom to 3 children that you adopted from foster care, and I am interested to know. How did that come about, and how do you manage your life with 3 children and running a company?
Well, I'm not saying it's always managed well. It's managed to an extent, but it's not always managed well. But it's a lot. It keeps things interesting. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
And it does keep me even more relevant, leading educators, because I have a child that's in elementary school. I have it in 3rd grade. I have a child that's in middle school in 7th grade right now. And then I have a high schooler that's in 10th grade.
You've got the full range.
I
See it
hear
all.
about everything. And one of my kids likes to be messy sometimes and likes to tell me all the horror stories that are happening at school. So then I think he knows it fires me up. So I hear all of the things that are happening on the street from the student's perspective.
Yeah.
So I think it's an advantage. It's also a lot, but we manage as best as we can.
Well, take us on your journey, like all through the adoption process. Like, did you always want to be a mom? Did you
It's a wild time.
Yeah, tell us the story.
Well, basically, I was not able to have kids, and so after lots of thought, prayer, consideration, I had mentored a lot of students growing up. I know a lot of y'all out there do that, where you just kind of take a kid under your wing, and look out for them. But this one student in particular, it's one of my all-time favorites. I can say his name. His name is Derek, and I call him my firstborn. But he ended up living off and on with us for years. And we learned so much through just, kind of, it's almost like we were co-parenting with his mom, but she lived in a different, location. And we were just seeing the realities of a life outside of ourselves and our house. And so when it came time to finally, make the decision of, are we going to continue growing this family? It was like, you know what? Adoption is a great option. Adoption's a great option. But, private adoptions are expensive, and we were teachers. So that was not going to be on the table. You know what else is expensive? In vitro. And so that was not a thing. But just through our experience with Derek, we were like, you know what? We could offer a home to somebody who, doesn't have one, that's already out there, who doesn't have a bunch of people fighting over them, with a cash offer, like some adoptions are.
Right.
And so we were like, maybe fostering is the best way to go.
Yeah.
But we started taking the classes. And
Okay.
of course, y'all as teachers, we were such snobs, because if you think the education system struggles, like, you should see the foster care system. It is.
Wow, I can't even
it's a lot.
imagine. Yeah.
But of course, they have like a curriculum that they use.
Okay.
I loosely use the term.
Were you
curriculum.
judging the
I was
foster
so
training
judging.
curriculum? And
I wanted to rewrite it and retrain people on it. It was terrible. But we went through the entire process, and we did like the expedited one. So instead of doing it over the course of 8 weeks, it was like 4 Saturdays all day.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was very interesting. So we did that, and then it was right after the Great Flood. I want to say of 2019 or 2016. I don't know. One of those numbers. I don't do numbers. For those of you who know that work with us, we don't do math training. And I had just gotten the email. One of our friends, their house had flooded, as I was cleaning up over there, and Derek was with me.
Uh-huh.
And I had just gotten the email saying, "Congratulations, you're approved as a foster parent."
Oh my
And
gosh.
literally 30 seconds later, my phone rang. Hey, we have
Oh
a
my
placement.
gosh.
I was like, "Oh, that
And were you ready?
escalated."
Were you ready? Like, was your house ready?
No, God, no. So the way this works, sorry, I'm coughing. The way this works is usually, you get a call and you decide if you're going to accept, the placement or not. And so we got a call. They gave us a little bit of details and they said, but look, this is a unique situation where they're being rehomed. So their foster parents said, hey, if you'd like to meet them tonight and kind of feel it out, we're willing to bring you. But it had to be like that night. And I was like,
Wow.
"Well, okay." So we ended up meeting them. And of course, Derek was like, I got to come with me. I come with y'all. I gotta meet my siblings. And so we were like, all right, come on, Derek. And so that night we met them and it was like at a kid's place. They went and jumped on things. You know how
Yeah.
kids jump on things.
Uh-huh. Of course.
And we got to meet them and talk with the parents and hear their backstory. Not parents, they're foster parents, sorry, not biological. We got to hear their backstory and long story medium. I'm not going to give too many details away, but they were being rehomed because that home had gotten another child. And the two that were going to be placed in our house got a little jealous, and it just was kind of a hostile environment for all of them to be together.
Yeah.
And so we got little details about that. And so we were like, okay, let's do this. So 2 days later,
You're a parent.
I was a parent.
I can't. Oh my gosh. So you went from 4 Saturdays of training, so basically a month,
Uh-huh.
and then a phone call later,
Boom.
and you have two kids.
I have two children. And it wasn't like, hey,
How old were they when
most people have
when
9
they
months.
came to your house?
Most of the people have 9 months to
Yeah.
prepare for a child. We had like 48 hours. They were 3 and 6. And when I tell you on night one, at 2 a.m., we wake up and they're standing at our bedside, like one of those, like at our bedside, like one of those scary movies where the kids are like, those were the kids. Like, because what we don't realize is that everyone like paints this, foster to adopt story in this great light. Like you're this hero, but really it is a massive disruption to children's lives to be taken away from their biological parents.
Sure.
And so
Absolutely.
for us, it was like, oh, this is so great. We're saving their lives. No, we were uprooting them, even from another home after being uprooted multiple times before.
Yeah.
And so when they wake up in the middle of the night, the oldest one would go wake up the young one and be like, hey, let's go in there because he was scared. And they would come in
Right.
our room and just stare at us. So it was terrifying. But yeah, it was wild because it was a very rude awakening. We used to just pick up and go travel. And now it was
Right.
like, oh my God, they're going to be here every day. And we have to feed them 3 times a day. What is this
Yeah. I
witchcraft?
mean, kids like to eat.
Yeah, and so it was wild, but I mean, to make matters worse, like it wasn't this easy process, and it's still not. Like they're adopted, but they still come with trauma.
Right.
And so we've had to navigate that, and it's been very challenging. I'm not going to act like it's been sunshine and rainbows because it is not. There's been lots of rain clouds, lots of hurricanes. Someone's calling me. I'm going to ignore them. And so it's just been a very, very wild adventure. But I do have 3 kids, so that was the story of the first 2.
Okay.
But I also have a third.
Okay. So how long between, so they were 3 and 6.
Mhm.
How long between were their ages before you, or from the time you got them to you got the call about the third?
Okay, so we had them living with us for about a year when I got the call for the third. But
And were you planning on taking more?
no, we were done. Like after 2, it was a lot. Like I'm telling you, the problem with the first situation was the biological parents were still in the picture, so they still had visitation.
Oh, yeah.
So no matter what, like we were teaching,
That was super
and
challenging.
every
with you
Friday they
too,
had to
yeah.
I had to take off of work early, go bring them to meet with the
As a
biological.
teacher, that's
Yes.
hard.
And I mean, like, these people did not have jobs. So I was taking off of my job to bring these kids to see their biological parents because we didn't want the social worker to take. That's just weird. Like,
Right.
we know kids.
Yeah.
And we knew that if some random social worker checked them out from
One
school,
more disruption.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was already chaotic. And then like, the youngest one would be potty trained, and then she would go to visits with her biological parents, and she would regress, and it was a whole thing. So it was very traumatizing because then at one point the biological parents were telling them, "Oh, you're going to come home next week." They weren't coming home, so we had to
You're
deal.
already bonding with them and they're
Uh-huh.
bonding with you, and then they have that confusion
Yeah, it
every
was
week.
crazy. And so
Yeah.
that went on for about a year and a half.
Mhm.
So after we had those 2, they would call because again, there's not many foster care, like not many foster care parents out there. Nobody wants to do that. It's hard. It's not easy at
You're
all.
right.
And so they kept calling us to take on more kids because they were like, "Oh, this is the jackpot house. They got 2 teachers. They got a big house. Like, we're gonna go there." And I mean, when I say big, I mean like 4 bedrooms,
Right.
and one was an office that was tiny. And so every time they would call, I was like, nope, we're done, we're done, we're done." And I got to the point where I just stopped calling. I mean, I stopped calling back. I just would ignore the call. I was terrible, but it was just we were managing as the family of 4, and
Sure.
it was interesting. So a year later is when we got the phone call for the third one.
And so what changed how you were ignoring calls? How did you transition to that?
Well, the call came, and of course, I will never forget. I was at the Smoothie King trying to, because back then it was like $5 medium Fridays, and so I went to Smoothie King after school, and I was sitting in the line, and my spouse called me and was like, "Hey, did you get that call?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not calling back." And long story medium, we talked with DCFS, and they were like, "It's a baby." Now, for those of you who don't know, foster care, you don't get a call for a baby. Everybody wants a baby. People will come out of the woodwork for a baby because a baby comes without trauma, allegedly. There's trauma in the womb, but everyone thinks, oh, if I can get him from being a baby, I can change the trajectory of everything. So you never get a call for a baby. And of course, like I always wanted to have a child, but I couldn't. So that was kind of the game changer. It was like, oh my gosh, it's a baby. But we knew we had to involve the other two. And so this is a serious After Hours podcast.
It
Sorry,
is a
guys.
serious, but that's okay. It's a great story.
But they're getting to know us, so it's fine. We knew we had to involve the first 2 before we brought in the third. So we sat down the oldest one, who kind of had an idea of what was going on because he was aware of the
Right.
whole situation.
He's pretty mature.
Yeah, he remembers everything, like the good, the
Right.
bad, and the ugly.
Mhm.
And so we sat him down. We're like, "Look, there's a situation. There's a baby that got left in the hospital, and they're looking for a home for him, and we could be that home." And he looked at us, and I'm gonna see if I can get this out without crying. He looked at us with tears in his eyes, and he goes, "We gotta go get that baby."
Oh.
And so, literally 48 hours later, we had a
Parent of a third child,
newborn
newborn.
child.
Oh
A
my.
newborn child.
Wait, you
Newborn.
you had nothing for a newborn.
No, I was teaching. I was a mentor teacher on top of that, so I was coaching like 6 teachers. And there's no maternity leave for foster care. So it was literally full class
Sounds like
load.
that needs to be changed.
Yeah. I mean, once the adoption's final, they give you maternity leave, but what do you need that for at that point? We took it to take a trip when he was finally adopted. But back then, like you literally he was eating every 2 hours. So we had him waking up every 2 hours.
He was a preemie, wasn't he? He was
very,
super little.
when I first met him, he could fit on my forearm right here. And now he is a crazy 8-year-old running around like a crazy man. He's hilarious. But yes, we had to pick him up from the hospital and bring him home. And so we literally had 48 hours to gather everything we could for a newborn child. And these are people who have never had children. And so we had to put it out there on social media like, hey, anybody got this? And thankfully my sister has like 17,000 children. And so
Shout out Kristen Do.
yeah,
Kristen
shout out,
Callett.
shout out. She brought all kind of stuff. Like I didn't even know. Like, you ever heard of a diaper genie? Do you know what a diaper genie is?
I mean, I have a kitty litter genie, so I have an idea. Because I have a child too. It's a cat.
That's true. That's true. Catsby Fitzgerald has but I literally had never heard of this. I was like, why is it a genie? And it is a genie because if it doesn't work, you smell it. But she came out with all kind of things, and people from my staff, like our teachers, even our paraprofessionals, making like 14 grand a year, just came and were like, I don't have much, but you can have these little baby hangers. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
that
it was
is
really cool to
precious.
see my little community, my little
Yeah.
village come out and support us with that.
That's why I love
So,
educators.
The educators can do anything. I mean, we're
Anything.
living proof of that. We're just
Anything.
teachers, and here we are sitting at this podcast studio recording about
So,
life.
because of these humans in your life, were you ready 48 hours later?
Absolutely not. No, you're never ready. And again,
Right.
like most people get 9 months to prepare for a newborn. We didn't know half of the things. And you have those books like What to Expect When You're Expecting. No, that's not real life. It is not real at all. And so we continue to fake it till we make it. There's no handbook, but they're all alive right now as we speak. And
I can actually add that they're thriving. I know them well, and they are fabulous
they're a
humans.
hot mess. But getting the baby was cool because we have gotten to see what it would be like from the very beginning.
Right.
And in fact, when we went to pick him up from the hospital, there's like this rule that the people that are taking the baby out, have to, like, one of them has to sit in the chair and hold the
The
baby.
wheelchair.
So we got to have that whole experience of
Right.
sitting in the wheelchair, bringing the baby out of the hospital, even though we didn't have the baby.
Yeah.
So that's a memory we'll never forget, just being able to have that experience. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Mom life is savage, as those moms listening know. But again, I learn a lot about our job from the children, and I know you learn a lot about why it's sometimes better to be a cat mom from my children. Shannon will be at my house like
I love
hanging
them.
out, and when things get wild, she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go home now." She's like, "I love your family, but when it's time to go, I'm ready to go."
That's funny. No, I
Um,
do love them.
yeah. So
And it's wild how two of them in particular are very much like you. Like,
mm,
so much like you.
yeah, the
It's
good, the bad, and the
it's
ugly.
funny. Yeah.
But I think it gives an interesting perspective for as an educator too.
Yeah.
Like those educators out there, if you have a child in your room that is a foster care child, please keep some things in mind. Like I've learned some things that I did wrong as a teacher, and it's just because I didn't know. Like sometimes things will come up at home where they're like, "Oh, do a timeline activity, your most important events." My kids don't have baby pictures, so
Oh,
like those
wow.
kinds of things we've got to consider
Wow.
when they
That's true.
are, in school. Think about those things before you assign those things. And I know you can't always avoid that. Like timeline creation is great, but that always becomes a sticking point in our house,
Yeah.
or when they have to,
That's how
um,
I found out I was adopted too.
really,
Yeah, it was a timeline activity at school.
those freaking timelines. Y'all
It
stop
was
it with the
it
timelines.
was it was a timeline activity, and I was like, "Oh, these dates don't match."
Oh my gosh. Wait, tell us the story. I want to know more about it.
So, I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and I will never forget the night because, they were playing it was either Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back.
I
I would
think you
have to
told me it
refer.
was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think it was Return of the Jedi was coming to TV, and so it was on TV
Oh,
that night, and it was so and I love to do homework.
you
And so
nerd.
I was gonna do homework, while, they were playing this movie, and it was a timeline thing, and I remember the dates being my year of birth was 2 years or 3 years before my parents got married when mom was telling me the timeline,
Scandal.
and I was like, "Wait, how did was I b was I born? Like, were y'all not married when I
The
was born?"
math wasn't
And my mom
mathing.
was like, "We're gonna have to tell her." And so they pulled out my dad adopted me. So we would all have the same name. I did not know that he wasn't my biological
How
father.
old were you?
I was like, I think I was 8. I'm pretty sure I was
You
8.
were the age my youngest is now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was 8 and realize and didn't know. And I have a brother and sister. I didn't realize they were just half brother and sister. And then I found out last year that I have another brother on
Yeah,
this
that was
planet,
wild.
which
We
is
gotta
crazy.
we're gonna
That's a
have to
whole
dive
other
into
episode.
that.
But yeah, it was the assignment that I found out and changed my life. And I was so mad because it ruined Return of the Jedi for me
The
that
poor
night. Yeah.
the poor child in the living room
Yeah.
finding like that is
But
wild.
and I know you don't feel like this on your best days, and I know a lot of educators who listen to us, especially if you're parents too. You don't feel like this, but you're doing the best you know how, and you've done a great job with your
Thank you.
kids.
Thank you. I'm
Y'all are
trying.
doing a fabulous job.
It's wild. But again, I just think it's given us a very valuable perspective
Yeah,
as educators and as people who lead other adults that lead children. Just making them aware of little things like the freaking timeline projects. Just say no
right,
to the timeline projects, or at least start at like, I don't know, later on in life, or
right.
I don't know. It's just there are a
A
lot
few
of
more
things.
of the blood types and the phenotype,
Oh, I have no
genotype
idea.
with DNA. Yeah, that
I
that
don't know
can
anything about my
when you do
children's blood
dominant
type.
traits and stuff, yeah, that can get
Right. So I got to
into
prepare
finding
myself.
out some things too. Yeah. So just be ready for
Shannon
that.
found out about a lot of things with what was it, 21 and Me or something like that. What is it? 23 and Me? I don't even know.
Ancestry.com. Yeah. No,
Ancestry.com.
yeah. That's how I found out I had another brother. So anyway,
Shannon, you have such better stories than I do, but it's
no,
okay.
your stories are important because I mean those are kids whose lives have changed and I've gotten to see them grow over the past how long have we known each other since 2018?
It's been a wild
So,
ride.
yeah. So thank you for sharing your stories with us and
Absolutely.
all of your friends and educators who supported you because that's what the education
Yep.
community does. And shout out to all of you out there who have been brave enough to take on fostering.
Mm,
Um because I'm real
special
thankful
place.
for your kids and for
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining the sentimental version of the After Hours podcast. I feel like we should have mood music on this one. If you want to check out other podcasts, you can check us out on all streaming platforms. And of course, you want to follow us on social media because we sometimes give some helpful tips and tricks. Sometimes we do dance videos. You just never know what you're going to get with
Never know.
Edu2020. So follow us. It's at Edu the words 2020 on all social media platforms. And we will see you next episode. Bye, guys.